What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Cookie DAO today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Here we are, sitting at about 12.5 cents, up 3% on the day so far. That's nice to see. It is the 8th day of September, and here we are. Looking like we're doing all right so far. I want to look at this on the daily time frame. We got about 20 hours, 41 minutes left. It's not a bad look. Again, it's very possible, and we were talking about this yesterday, it's very possible that this is the low area. I don't think it's the low. I do think we have lower to go, and we did discuss the possibility of coming up a little bit to not get too excited even if that happens. But it's nice to see nonetheless, right? Looking like we don't have a whole lot of volume. I actually want to see here. What are we doing? Cookie dough. 74.8. That's decent volume. It is decent volume, honestly. Cookie DAO is nothing but decent whenever it comes to volume. There's a lot of coins that have very low volume, but this thing just seems to operate at a very optimal standard of volume there. Let's see. Low to high. Right at the golden ratio as far as the extension goes. I wouldn't think that we get above 13 cents, or if we do, it wouldn't be too much for too long. We'd probably come back down. I still am heavily anticipating that we see prices that are around 10 cents to 8 cents, somewhere in that area there. We could find support here. It is possible that this is the low, and I'll go over the logic behind that, I suppose, if this is the low. But again, the reason why I wouldn't think it is because just the reaction that we're having here, right? When we found the low here, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days later, bullish engulfing candle. You moved up 14.8%. 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days later, it's taken like a whole week, and now we're up a little bit, right? Right, the reaction that took place a week after this low was nice. This is pathetic. You know what I mean? We even had a nicer reaction over here, technically, than we've had here, and that certainly was not the low. So I'm not amused, right? But with less volume, there's definitely an argument to be made that we are coming to the end of this consolidation phase. As volume dies off, you come to the end of the consolidation phase, right? And then you break out one way or the other. We're thinking it's going to be this way, not this way, right? Trying to make sense out of what it would look like if this was the low. So if this was the low, let's just see. I don't know if I want to take that high. We're not going to take that high. I'm going to take this high. Because that seems like a fake out high to me. Maybe it isn't, maybe it is. I'm going to measure this. Does that make sense? Why I wouldn't take that? It's like a scam wick. Put it all the way over here. It's pretty close. It's pretty close to an ABC correction. I would think still, again, that we'd go just a little bit lower. Typically this C wave, this last leg, is a little bit longer too. But it's pretty close. It is pretty damn close. So there, I mean, that's acceptable. If we look at this on a horizontal scale, right here, you're finding support here where you found support before, kind of above prior resistance here, and then again we take this most relative pivot from a low to a high. That is the golden extension right there. So that's, there's reason enough to find it. If this is the low, I would want to see. I'm going to take this overall pivot, low to high. I would want to see the price. I mean, really, you just have to get above this high. 16 cents to invalidate me and validate that this is the low. 12.5 cents now. Get to 16.7 cents, really 17.2 cents. Close above there 2 days in a row. Close above this daily high 2 days in a row. Even one day, honestly, would get me excited enough. One day, that daily high, not even the high, the close itself is at 16.66 cents. If you can close above there for one day, that would validate it, in my opinion, that this is the low. But until then, I think it's bearish. If that's too far away for you, you're like, okay, that's great. So what? We have to wait for it to pump another, how much is that, like 30%? Yeah, like 33%. Have to wait for it to pump 33% before I get in. I don't want to do that, C-Zar. I want to get in now. Okay, well, buy now then. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. Buy now. There's nothing wrong with buying here, right? Even if it goes at 10 cents. Understand, I bought at 23 cents the first time, and then I bought at 8 cents again. There's nothing wrong, and then at 8 cents, it felt really bad that I bought at 23 cents. But whenever we were up here, I was like, yes, I bought here and there, and I bought also at like 11 cents or 10 cents. I forget where it was, but we also bought somewhere around there. We didn't buy these lows. I actually was bearish on the way up here, but I didn't sell. We didn't sell. And I was like, we're probably going to top off any moment now. We just didn't top off. We kept going. And we actually did top off later, and then we went down. I just didn't think we'd go down this low for this long, but I'm getting all distracted here. Let's continue with what we're talking about here. There's nothing wrong with buying here. It's just there's something wrong with buying here. The price goes lower and you sell, right? If you buy here and the price goes lower, there's nothing wrong with that, right? People are so afraid of the price going lower. Buy and let the price go lower. It'll come back. right? Whenever the price is above $1, you tell people you bought at 12.5 cents, they're going to be like, wow, you were a genius. How did you know? They're not going to think, wow, you could have bought at 8 cents. You're so stupid. No, it's not like that, right? Just, it's only dumb if you buy at 12.5 cents and you sell at 8 cents or you sell at 10 cents. Then it's dumb, right? Don't do that. If you can't deal with the pain, then don't do it. Just because I'm saying that doesn't mean that it's going to go down either. There might not be any pain. And that's why sometimes you DCA at these levels. But again, if you don't like the idea of a 33% move up to validate, let's look for something that would potentially be exciting then, I guess. Let's just see. Low to high. I don't know, man. I guess if we start closing days above 13.3 cents, then it's time to get a little bit excited. 13.3 cents. Let's just see. Really, it's unfortunate because it is so far away, but really I think that the lowest level to get excited about would be about 15 cents. Closing about 15 cents. Until then, I'm not really convinced that this is the low, right? We could move all the way up here. We could move right to 15 cents, even above it, and then come down. You know what I mean? And it's just a lower high throughout this whole range. It's nothing to get too excited about. So 15 cents really is what does it. For me, I'd like to take out that high, though, right, on a daily closing basis. Daily closing basis, not a wick. Daily closing basis, not a wick. Okay. Until then, we're presuming that we go lower, but it is nice to see, that you're up a little bit today. Good job for all the people who are DCAing, right? But volume's decreasing as we're moving up on Bybit here. Decent volume on the day on a 24-hour period, right, across the board for wherever this thing's being traded, but lower volume here on Bybit makes me think that you will go lower. Let's look at you on, since we're on the shorter term time frames, let's look at you on Binance, because Binance has the most volume always, right, when it comes to USDT pairs. That's actually not bad volume. 35 minutes left in this 1 hour candle. Let's see how it closes. Looks kind of wickish now, but you might continue to move up, right? Let's look at this 15-minute time frame. I mean, even this candle last hour came up and then came down. It looked like it was bearish, but then you finished pretty strong. I don't know. You're starting off negative, but just like you did that time, you still came up strong last time. It could be good enough. Not getting a whole lot off the 15-minute there. It looks bullish. 1 hour does look bullish, in all fairness. It does look bullish. And the 4 hour, it also looks bullish. Honestly, that RSI looks nice. The stochastics look fierce, and so does the MACD. Wow. Wow, so we're moving up a little bit. That's nice. So you might move up a little bit more. Again, this really could be the low, you guys. And again, that's why you buy. Because this, buying here, and then it goes down here, boo-hoo, right? That's so bad. But this move right here, that's not what should worry you. You shouldn't worry about buying here and missing the chance to buy lower. You should worry about the price moving all the way up here, all the way up here, all the way up here between now and the end of October. Right? This move is insignificant. That move is the one you should worry about missing out on. So, yeah, I just think as long as you can have that conversation with yourself, if I buy here, I will not sell there. I'll just wait until it comes back up. If it goes lower, then you're good. I think that you're fine. Looking at this here, though, just for what it is, let's take this relative high. There we go. To relative low. I might even take another fib here real quick. Maybe we do go up to like 14.4 cents. Maybe. We don't have to, but maybe. I want to take this fib low to high here. 1414 support both times. Finding support at the 1272. You're looking productive. You really are looking productive, and your indicators look bullish. So I'm sticking with the idea that the low's not in yet, but I do believe we're going to move up here. We could really contest that. Let's move to something that's above 14 cents, yeah? That might happen over the next couple of days. 13.4 cents, 14.4 cents. It's possible, you guys. I'm really... It is possible that this is the low. I'm not convinced yet. I don't want to call for that. I don't want to call for it yet. We've seen some convincing stuff so far, and it didn't work out. So let's wait to be more convinced. But you're probably going to move up to 14 cents or more. Maybe even move up a little bit above 13 cents. But then, and I would think that happens over the coming days, and then maybe going into this weekend, the end of this week, maybe even the early part of next week, we'd continue to move down. There's a chance, guys. Maybe we don't go below 10 cents. Maybe we find some kind of double bottom or slightly lower low, something like that. We get this kind of like W shape, and then we move up. I don't know. And again, there is the chance that this is the low, but I'm sticking with the idea that we move lower for now until I see other evidence. Okay, I feel like I keep repeating myself. Daily time frame, RSI does look bad. Stochastics look bad, but good enough right now. And the MACD, it's pretty bad too. So I'm not amused. I don't care, right? If anybody's looking at this and they're saying, "But look, it's breaking out of its downtrend. Look at that, C-Zar. You didn't talk about the trend line." Well, I mean, technically not yet, I guess, depending on how you draw it. Even if we do, though, it's not. It doesn't matter, right? You broke out of your trend line here, and you still went lower. You even broke out of it here from this relative aspect, and you still went lower. You broke out of it there, and you went lower. You know what I mean? Can we draw it all the way back? Let's just see. Maybe not like that. I don't know. I'm not amused, right? We'll see. Maybe it'll get amusing, but we have to wait a couple days for it. It's possible. There's a lot of coins that have found their lows, but I'm going to stop repeating myself. I feel like I'm repeating myself so much. Let's just wrap this up, okay? By the end of this move, wherever it takes us, or however long it takes to form, I do expect that Cookie DAO is going to see new all-time highs. A lot of people say I'm crazy. They say I'm cuckoo loco, whatever. That's okay. But whenever it happens, they're not going to be here to be like, "Wow, you were right. I was wrong." No, they're just here to talk smack, and then whenever we're validated, they're gone. In all fairness, looking at this here, man, that's a pretty bullish way to close last week. I'm not going to lie. That's actually a very bullish week. Man, I actually like that. I wish I saw that in the beginning of this video. Because typically with a week like that, man, solid body down, doji candle at the base, you come back up and you close. If we close, I'll do you one better. Okay, we can shave it down. I know I said that 16.7 cents or 17.2 cents. I know saying closing a day above that was what it would take to convince me the lows in. And then we shaved it down, 15 cents. Reluctantly, I said 15 cents at least. That's what we need to see. But I'll shave it down even more. If we can come up by the end of this week, we don't even have to close above this line. But if by the end of this week we can close at, let's say, like 13.5 cents, most of this candle is eaten up, like 2/3 or let's say 3/4 of this candle is eaten up, and that, just eyeballing it, would be about 13.5 cents. If we can close above 13.5 cents, not on a day, I don't care if it's 2 or 3 days in a row, I'm talking about the weekly time frame. If we can close above most of this candle, like 3/4 of it or more the merrier, by the end of this week, I would be very confident that that's the low. That's a really nice look. But it is the beginning of week. Bitcoin hasn't moved down yet like I think it's going to. Ethereum hasn't moved down yet like I think it's going to. Let's wait and see how this week develops. We have the FOMC meeting on the 16th and 17th. I think a lot of good things are going to come from that. But this is a good look, okay? All in all, whenever it is time to move higher, which might be now, whenever it is time to move higher, we're going to see $1.65. We're going to see $3.90. Something up in this area, okay? And that's anything from the current price. It's like anything from a 13x to a 30x, man. It's crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. Yeah, right. It can't see a 30x. This guy's doing it for clicks. Yeah. Well, its last big movement that I saw was 42x. So if I wanted to do it for clicks, I'd be like, look, guys, it did a 42x last time. We're going to do that now. In fact, we're probably going to do it even more because it's even more bullish now than it was before. We're going all the way up to $10 because of psychological resistance. We'll probably hit $10 at some point, and it probably will provide psychological resistance at some point. That was my daughter, if you heard that little duck noise. She's like a month old. No, I'm not doing it for clicks. I'm doing it because from a high to low, based on this overall consolidated phase that we've been in, the primary target area of your Fibonacci extension zone is the 1272 to the 1618. I'm not making up the numbers. I'm just taking it from your all-time high to your relative low of this overall consolidation phase. Okay, it's just there. These are the charts. These are the numbers. These are the statistics. The statistical probability is if you see new all-time highs, and in my mind, it's when you see new all-time highs, this is the area that you're going to. I don't think you spent this much time consolidating from January of this year, 2025. I don't think you spent this much time consolidating just to stop at $1.65. Right? Just like we look at this fib here, from the prior all-time high to the all-time low. We didn't spend time stopping at the minimum target. We stopped at the golden ratio. I don't think we're going to stop at the minimum. I think we'll see $2.40 or more. But time will tell. And again, if in that kind of aspect, in that scope, that would imply then that instead of a 13x or whatever that was, 13x, we'd see a 18.5x to about a 30x by the end of October. $10, $7 maybe by the end of the year, maybe more than that. $20 by the end of the cycle. Sounds crazy now, I know, but just you wait, man. Just you wait. 100x will never happen. This must be your first cycle in crypto. I've seen it happen every single cycle. I've been a part of it. Not every single cycle, but last cycle. It happens, man. It happens. Anyways, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.